Salutations and good morrow everyone, and welcome back to another Grounded update video. I know, those are some words I bet you thought I wasn't gonna say again, but yes, here we are, once again with a new public test for Grounded. This is public test 1.4.7. It's bringing all new features to the game, including the ability to upgrade some of your weapons. But before we get into that, let's talk a little bit more about this. First things first, you guys may be surprised to hear me talking about Grounded at all. When I went through and beat the entire game of Grounded in one video, at the end of that video, I said I was not going to return back to Grounded unless something significant happened. Well, guess what? Something significant did happen. We have a brand new public test that brings all sorts of new gameplay and balancing updates and things. So what I want to do is see if this update is enough to take me away from playing my 2-Point Museum playthrough, which I have been absolutely loving. You guys are welcome to check that out. But if it is enough to bring me back into the game of Grounded. So let's go through and let's read through what they have updated. So first things first is the public test server is now live. Remember guys, this is not going to be an update that you are going to have directly on your Xbox or PC right now, even on your PlayStation or your Switch. It's not going to be there yet. It is in public test. So if you want to get in on it, if you're going to join in, you guys can head over to the Discord and chat with them, but let's talk a little bit more about the public test notes. If you guys want to learn how to access the public test as well, you guys can go over to grounded.com and you guys can go and check this out. It's right here. It says how to access the public test. Okay, but let's get into these patch notes. So first things first, guys, we have some notes from Shyla, some notes we have not seen in a long time. So first of all, general changes. The zipline speed boost. When using the zipline, speed is now 50% faster. That means you're going to be moving even faster on those zip lines. Be careful with that. You can launch yourself with them if you get moving fast enough. Gamepad movement, walking slower than sprint speed no longer drains stamina. The lure trap update now attracts all creatures except for stink bugs, green shield beetles, and all water creatures. That'd be kind of wild if we had like the diving bell spiders or the water boatmen coming out of the water to attack you. We have some pet updates where the baby ants got about 50% more health and armor. The aphid pet buffs, they reduce the stamina drain while sprinting by 30%. This was 20%, so this is a great boost. And it also increases players' maximum movement speed by 15%. That means for those of you who have made a speed build using the buffs, using the smoothies, using the shoes that you can wear, the armor that you can wear, having it upgraded, those aphid slippers, and then plus your mutations getting really fast. Now, if you have an aphid pet as well, they can really boost up that speed and really get you moving. Great for those speed runners out there who like to run around really, really fast. And then the Weevil pet buffs as well, reduces thirst drain by 50%. This was 20, so once again, another update, and they've added in that it reduces hunger drain by 50% as well. Now, on to some boss adjustments. This is a big one, guys. This one I'm really, really excited for is that Mantis boss. That scream attack can now be perfect blocked. This was a bummer for those of you who were playing when we were playing on remix levels that were going up and up and up, and it would start applying those debuffs to you when it was doing its scream attack. Now that this can be perfect block, this is a fantastic addition. Now, there's some general changes to the yard that happened. First of all, we got an armor upgrade expansion. All armor can now be upgraded to level 15. This is a big deal. This is what's going to make remixing all the easier. Look at this, level 15, 215% defense and durability on armor. That is amazing. So level 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, and 15. So you can now go, instead of the top being 9, it is now 15. That's a big deal. All right, infused attack damage significantly reduced against buildings, helping in the Java-matic and base defense battle. So that means now when you're going through and you're trying to do the remixed Java-matic and base defenses, when you're doing those remix levels, you're not going to have to worry about stuff ripping right through your walls immediately. This does not help in the standard update, meaning when you're going through and you're doing the defense for the Java-matic for the first time and you have to build your bases, this will not impact that. Keep that in mind. All right, then there's a new custom game option. You can now adjust the remixed level in survival mode. So to find this, you go to the start menu, go to game options, miscellaneous, and then you have a remixed level. This level now displays past level 10 in the same menu. So you can go through into your custom games and start off remixed right away if that's so be what you want to do to give it a try and see if it's even worth you going through and getting your current saves into that remix spot. I would suggest you guys get into remix level 1 because some of the stuff that you can start getting at remix level 1 is pretty fun. You do have to beat the game again, but come on guys, it's grounded. It's worth playing the game about 100 times. All right, remixed yards scaling updates. Raw science reward scale with remixed levels. Infused creatures base reward of 3,000 raw science increased by 10% per remix level. So now when you get to level 2, 3,300, level 3 will be another 10%, which will be 3,630, I believe is what it would end up coming out to. But math is math, and we're not talking about that. Just know that it's increased by 10% per remix level. Boss rewards are now 30,000 raw science, and then they're increased by 20% per remixed level. That's a big deal. 20% increase for those boss drops. That's pretty good, especially when you start going through and wiping out all of the bosses trying to do those. Boss drop at remix level D4. So when you get up to remix level 4 or higher, bosses now have a 30% chance to drop an extra infused ooze. These infused oozes are one of the things you're going to need to start upgrading that armor. Burgle quests and raw science pickups increased by 200% per remix level. So if you go through and you do all your Purgle quests in the early start of the game, then you start over again and you're in doing your remix level 1, those raw science pickups are going to be worth 200% more. That's awesome. Creature damage scaling adjustments. New scaling system replaces the old linear increase. Old system was 20% damage per remix level. The new one starts at 20%, but then remixed up by larger amounts at higher levels. So before it was 20, 40, 60. Now it's 20, 45, 75, meaning those creatures are going to hit harder. This is trying to, balance the game after they have gone through and done the update to the armor, making it so you can get yourself to 215% armor. I'm a little worried about this. I don't think that some of the mobs needed more damage, honestly, but we'll have to give it a try and see if it's worth it. Now, here's a big one too, guys. Mutation changes. The first one here, I am super excited about. Barbarian mutation. Barbarian mutation is the mutation that helps you out when you're a two-handed weapon fighter. It now reduces the perfect block window instead of removing it. This is huge. Those of you who liked using the Barbarian mutation in the past but couldn't start using it in later remix levels can now, because if you're good at perfect blocking, you can now use this mutation still. It does not become just a dead mutation on your sheet. And then Apex Predator mutation now works with all infused weapons. This is a big deal as well because some of those Apex Predator mutations are pretty good when you're using those weapons. So get out there and give it a try. All right. And then finally, guys, we have stuff about playgrounds. Playgrounds, you can now do story quests, can now be enabled in playground modes. The backyard bosses can now be summoned at their boss arenas. This is pretty cool. Web sacks placed in marker mode now spawn spiderlings and black widowlings. All placed creatures and bosses can have their stats customized, their name, their scale, their movement speed, their health, their infusions, things like that. This is adding a whole bunch of customization for all of you who are out there making those custom maps. All weapons and tools can now have the following stats customized: their names, their durability, their enhancement levels, their damage multiplier, and their bonus attacks. So really big updates so far. Remix level selection in Playgrounds. You can now choose to do a remix level from level 1 to 10. From the start menu, you can go in and adjust that. And then the new music tracks were added as well to the music player. You have each of the kids' different music tracks: Willow, Max, Hops, and Pete. Home, The Dark, Stronger Than You Think We Are, The Upper Grasslands at Night, Noble Spirit, Science in the Home, and Rise and Shine. All of these tracks have been added to the music player for you. And then we have a bunch of bug fixes in here as well. I'll fly through these really fast. I'm not going to make some comments on them unless they're really big. So salty weapons now properly turn underwater creatures into jerky. Cupid arrow fix no longer makes the player invincible, and if the creature under the Cupid arrows effect is hit by the player, the effect disappears and the creature becomes hostile again. Antbassador and pets. Having Antbassador with a pet no longer makes ants see you in ant hills. Gnat pet fix. Gnats won't stop following you if you bump into them. Burgle quest. Some quests wouldn't complete properly are now fixed. Epic Burgle quest level 10. Mixologist now correctly asks for normal smoothies. Playground building fix. Copying linked buildings now correctly inherits all links when changing the door variant. Antennae in the field stations no longer duplicate when re-entering design mode. Ant Queen gear summons now correctly aggro enemies on spawn. Fixing some crashing here, guys. This is good when you're relocating ladders or using the Shinobi Sneeze ability. And then they fix some world issues that players can no longer fall out of the world at the woodpile entrance, and various fire ant hill spawns issues fixed. And then finally, UI and localization fixes. Guys, this is all some big stuff that they went through and fixed for us. Now, remember, they are in public test, so there could be more bug fixing that's going to come. There could be some adjustments that get made to these right here on this damage scaling, and there could be some updates on what's going to happen with some of this armor as well. So keep that in mind. This is a public test, and they're going through and making these changes. So now the big question, is this enough to get me to come back to grounded? And I will say, honestly, kind of. These updates here are pretty impressive, the things that they added in. What really would have got me is if they would have pulled in something like an additional area, added a new creature, added a new armor set. I know we have infused weapons, we have upgraded armor, and that's amazing, but at the end of the day, it's still the same bugs, it's still the same stuff. So is it really pulling me back? Yes, because I'd like to go through and try out all these different things. So I would definitely suggest you guys get out there and give this a try. But guys, that's going to do it for this video. So thank you all so much for watching. If you guys liked it, hit that like button. Don't forget to subscribe. And if you watched all the way to the end here, don't forget to go check out those other videos that I've been making over there on 2 Point Museum. That game is fantastic, and I definitely suggest you guys check it out. Thank you guys so much. And as always, I'll see all of you guys in the next one.